What if a single no cost a star everything? I mean everything. The house, the car, the adoring fans, the lifetime supply of chimichangas. Okay, maybe not the chimichangas, but you get the picture. One little two-letter word whispered in a producer's ear, and poof! A career trajectory goes from a soaring rocket ship to, well, something less rocket ship-like. A moderately successful blimp, perhaps. It's the ultimate Hollywood butterfly effect. A sliding doors moment where a different choice could have meant a whole different Mount Rushmore of movie stars. And let's be honest, who doesn't love a good story about someone else's epic, life-altering screw-up? It makes my own questionable life choices seem downright strategic. Welcome, you beautiful people, to Fairy's little corner of the internet. Today we're diving headfirst into the deep, dark, and occasionally hilarious abyss of cinematic what-ifs. We're counting down the top 4 roles actors rejected that didn't just cost them a paycheck, they arguably derailed their careers. Alright, picture this. The year is 1980, the air is thick with hairspray and the promise of a new decade. George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, they're cooking up an adventure movie. You might have heard of it. It's about an archaeologist who's less about dusting pots and more about punching Nazis, running from giant rolling rocks. They need a hero, rugged, charming, whip-cracking. They found him. His name was Tom Selleck. Yes, that Tom Selleck. Mustache, Hawaiian shirts. He was on the cusp of stardom with Magnum P.I. He did the screen test. He nailed it. Spielberg loved him. Lucas loved him. He was offered Indiana Jones. The contract was practically in his hand. This was the golden ticket. But then a career-altering turn. Selleck was already committed. He'd signed with CBS for Magnum P.I. He went to the network, hat in hand, not the fedora, argued schedules wouldn't conflict. The network said no. A firm, unshakable no. They feared delays. They held him to his contract. Sunny Hawaii, that red Ferrari. Tom Selleck had to walk away. He had to say no to Spielberg, no to Lucas, no to Dr. Henry Walton Indiana Jones Jr. Spielberg and Lucas turned to their second choice, Harrison Ford. Heard of him? Raiders of the Lost Ark exploded. It redefined action-adventure and turned Harrison Ford into the Harrison Ford. The film launched a franchise. Indiana Jones became a global icon. Harrison Ford's career went supernova, dramas, thrillers, comedies, untouchable. And Tom Selleck? Magnum P.I. ran 8 seasons, won him an Emmy, made him a household name. Solid TV career, yes. But the film career on Ford's level never happened. No Indy, maybe no Deckard, maybe no Jack Ryan. He missed being the face of multiple franchises. The ultimate what-if. Let's fast forward to the late 1990s. The world is on the brink of a new millennium. One man is on top, Will Smith. The Fresh Prince, Bad Boys, Independence Day, Men in Black. Everything he touched turned to box office gold. He was charming. He was funny. He was bankable. He was the king. So when the Wachowskis came to him with a script for a little movie called The Matrix, they wanted him for Thomas Anderson, Neo. The One. If you've seen it, you know it was dense, philosophical, visually unlike anything before. Will read the script, met the Wachowskis, and he just didn't get it. The pitch felt confusing. Bullet time, Japanese anime, kung fu, too out there, too risky. So he said no. He chose the safer bet instead. A steampunk western comedy called Wild Wild West. Yeah, that Wild Wild West. The one with the giant mechanical spider. He passed on sleek black leather for chaps and a giant spider. Choices were made. The role went to Keanu Reeves, whose career was in a lull. A quiet, soulful guy. The Matrix became a cultural earthquake. It redefined sci-fi, revolutionized visual effects, and became shorthand for questioning reality. It was cool, smart, iconic from the first frame. Keanu was reborn. The role fit like a glove. Quiet intensity, zen-like demeanor, A massive franchise put him back at the peak. Meanwhile, Wild Wild West happened. A critical and commercial disappointment. Wills called it one of his biggest regrets. Imagine if Will took the red pill. Would The Matrix be the same with his signature charm and wisecracks? The tone would change, but for Smith, it could have added avant-garde cool to his mainstream dominance. Back-to-back era-defining sci-fi instead of a dud would have cemented him as a tastemaker, an artist willing to take big swings. The 2000s trajectory might have looked very different. Sometimes the weird, confusing pitch is the one to bet on. Will jokes he'd have messed it up and that Keanu was perfect. Maybe he's right. But turning down Neo remains one of modern cinema's great what-ifs. The decision that took him out of the running to be the one and left him, for a moment, as the one who just didn't get it. The box of chocolates that got away. Sometimes a role isn't about launching a career, but redefining it, revealing depth no one suspected. In the early 90s, a role came along. A kind-hearted man from Alabama drifting through 20th century history. The role, of course, was Forrest Gump. Before Tom Hanks made us cry about shrimp boats and Bubba, the part was on the table for another star, John Travolta. Post Look Who's Talking, and just as Pulp Fiction was about to reignite him, Travolta was offered Forrest, a unique script buzzing around town. For reasons ranging from scheduling to uncertainty about the film's sentimental tone, he passed, choosing Tarantino's masterpiece instead. Choosing Pulp Fiction is never a bad decision. It resurrected him and earned an Oscar nomination as Vincent Vega. But saying no to Forrest meant saying no to an image transformation, from cool icon to an icon of humanity. Travolta was the cool guy, Danny Zuko, Tony Manero, Vincent Vega. Forrest was the opposite, sincere, innocent, profoundly uncool in the most endearing way. Hanks, fresh off Philadelphia, didn't just play Forrest, he became him. A masterclass in subtlety that could have tipped into caricature, but never did. Forrest Gump was the top-grossing film of 1994 and swept the Academy Awards, Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor for Hanks. 2 consecutive Best Actor wins. America's Dad cemented. Travolta's comeback became a roller coaster. Great highs, rough lows, never quite that Hanks-level prestige consistency. Pulp Fiction made him a legend to film nerds. Forrest would have made him a legend to everyone's grandmother. Sometimes winning over grandma is the shrewder long game. Our final story enters the age of the cinematic universe, where one yes can mean a decade of work and a guaranteed spot in pop culture history. It's 2009. Marvel readies Iron Man 2, introducing Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, tough, mysterious, vulnerable, able to go toe-to-toe with Tony Stark, their perfect candidate, Emily Blunt. Acting chops, the look, the rising star power. Marvel wanted her, badly, offer made. She was set to be Black Widow, ground floor of the biggest franchise in history. But a prior obligation with 20th Century Fox locked her into Gulliver's Travels. She and her team tried to get out. The studio held firm. Forced to choose, she honored the contract, passing on Natasha for a Jack Black comedy. Marvel turned to Scarlett Johansson. The rest is history. The MCU didn't just succeed, it took over the world. Johansson's Black Widow became the heart of the saga, appearing across the decade and anchoring a beloved arc. The role made her one of the highest-paid, most recognizable stars on the planet, with a global fan base. And Emily Blunt? Gulliver's came out. Critically panned, largely forgotten. It didn't derail her. She's phenomenal and a bona fide movie star. But we're talking MCU-level stardom. Decade-long security, global superstardom, original Avenger devotion. A different level. Her path is rich with great films, but missed that anchor defining modern careers. A once-in-a-generation golden ticket lost to scheduling. She would have been fantastic. But a forgettable comedy stood between her and MCU pantheon status. The echo of no. The echo of no. So there you have it. A single decision can change everything. From a fedora never worn to a red pill never taken, these stories testify to Hollywood's brutal unpredictability. Timing, contracts, gut feelings, they divert careers, making legends of second choices and leaving tantalizing what-ifs. It's snakes and ladders. One role can send you back to the start. Even the biggest stars hinge on a single fateful choice. Which rejection surprised you most? The mustache that missed the whip, the prince who dodged bullet time, the dancer who skipped the chocolates, or the rising star who missed the super spy? Tell us below, hit like, subscribe for more what-ifs, and now if you'll excuse me, I have a giant mechanical spider to forget about. Thanks for watching.